Well, hey, good evening. Oh, I believe we are live here, Fargo, North Dakota. Going to start by just saying hello in the Anishinaabe language. It's a way that we always greet our relatives, so just bear with me. Bonjour, nindanewe maganitag. Nigananakut ndigo. Bijou nindotem. Not kumigo aning Anishinaabe ninda. Hapchiniminandan genin in ki kinita noean o Anishinaabe. Enitagok o kitabachmutoang. Awaya. Migo chinam gigin o anogam kibisandoyeg. Migo agegat opi. Kiwanchamachtang. So I just, in the language, provided you with our traditional protocols, just like most languages of our indigenous peoples, right here in North Dakota. I greeted you with a greeting to all relatives that are out there. I told you what my Indian name is. My Indian name is Nigananakut. Means front of the cloud. My clan I'm the Lynx clan, and I come from Whitefish Bay, a land just right in the heart of Lake of the Woods. So I was given some tobacco, much like you've heard from JT, and you also heard from Terrell, just a couple of good teachings that they shared here these last couple of weeks. And, it's really cool, when you say cool, just amazing how, Fargo-West Fargo Public Schools, I know with the parent committee, they gave some direction to the Indian education program to continue with cultural teachings and this series to provide some support to all of you as you're at home. And so I think it's really just an amazing thing that they're doing to be able to keep connecting with families, with all of you at home, with your families, your children. I guess with this virus right now, there's just so much out there. It's a trying time. Right now I hear the opachig out there, the robins. That's usually the first real good sign of spring. It's the time to be outside, and you should still go outside, but just keep safe and social distancing. To be honest, I've had quite a few different thoughts as this coronavirus has really shaken the land and the world. I can't help but relate it to our Manitug, our creator, once again wanting to teach us a lesson of sorts, reminders about the things that make us a good people, a good living people. So some of the things I'm going to share tonight, I want you to go ahead and, a lot of times when I've been provided with teachings and stories, I only speak to the things that I've heard, things that I've been taught, things that I've experienced. So I'm coming to you in that capacity. I'm not scripted. So as I'm speaking, a lot of times what we say, it's Debwe Win. You're speaking from the heart. And you're speaking for that tobacco that was offered for you to share in a good way, things that will help out families and help you all as we continue to move forward and try to live a good life. So as I received that tobacco, as I smudged here tonight and had my tobacco offering, I encourage you all to do the same. If you're able to, I know the cedar trees are free of snow. If you just, pick a little, a twig here or there, and if you're able to have some sweetgrass or sage, tobacco, these are the ways of our people. These are the ways of most of our nations and tribes and customs throughout the lands. We share a lot of the commonalities of that use of tobacco as an offering for some help, for some spirited help. I think a lot of our spirits are challenged right now with kind of being cooped up in a house. It actually resonates how our people were many, many moons ago. When you think of our original housing, the teepees, the wigwams, and what winter months would do for us. We were self-contained, and we dealt with it in many ways. Sure enough, there was smudging. We had our grandmothers telling us teachings and providing us with our cultural ways. And then, of course, we had our arts and crafts that taught us patience and perseverance and whatnot as we completed things through these winter months, to be worn again by our loved ones, our relatives. So a lot of our ways are resonating again. I know I started a looming project myself, and as you're threading each bead, it's just another way of reminding us that these gifts that we received from the Creator are things that will help us as we deal with most anything that comes our way. So as I receive this tobacco, and again, you never know what you're going to speak to. You speak for the tobacco, so they're not really my words, but they're my words or thoughts that are put through via that vehicle of the tobacco. And the word that came to my mind was Zhaawendim. 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 Zhaawendim, meaning love and care for him or her. Zhaawendim is the actual verb in that, meaning loving and caring for someone. You know, Zhaawendaw seeing mi apigeget kaunishing tejab semaguk. When we live in a loving and caring way, usually a lot of good things will seep through. And I believe, again, our Creator has taught us a lesson with this pandemic. And before getting on here, I thank the Creator. I really believe that, you know, as our Creator provided us with this virus, that again it's a way of reminding us to live in a good way, but to live in a way that is loving and caring of others. I think there's been so much happening. You know, we think of ourselves in this 7th generation right now. And a lot of what's happening right now was a premonition from our ancestors, believing we were going to have struggles once again. And a lot of those struggles are the result of how we are treating each other. You know, just some of those things that happen, not just among our own families, but as a people, and all nations. You know, you think of the politics that really become divisive. You think of some of these other things that really divide, you know, us in general as a people. And I think about our indigenous peoples and those things that have really been struggles. No question, there's historical trauma. There's things that happened to us as a result of a lot of the policies of the past. And they've kind of mutated into affecting and infecting, if you think about it that way, you know, this way of life that we've been kind of forced into. So many of us, me included, are still on this learning path to wanting to regain our identity, our language, our teachings. And so, you know, as I received this tobacco, again, from the Fargo-West Fargo Indian education, it reminded me that that staff, the parent committee, and all of you that are in your homes right now, we want to help each other. And so those thoughts and feelings kind of resonate in my mind as I prepared here for tonight in this live version. You know, I think a lot of things, there's so much fear out there. I think this is a good time to just kind of say some of these things out loud. You know, that the smudging is a good way to help our spirits, our mind, our body, our spirit, you know, our emotions, our mental awareness. You know, that our offerings out there, you know, you families, as you have dinner with each other, put a little dish out there with some tobacco in it for the spirits. Believe me, they're listening, they're watching. Your family will also get uplifted in your own spirits doing those things. So it's, you know, whenever you think you need to do it, go ahead. You know, that's something that our ancestors keep telling us is don't stop doing. That these teachings are ours for not just the taking, but to practice and use them in that way. So, I think as I go on here, one of the things as well is our humbleness, how we have our humility as a people, that we don't, in our leadership, we don't put ourselves ahead of anybody, or we don't put ourselves above anybody, that we're all together. That's why circles are so sacred in us. So if you're with your family, think about those tables and how you get together. Try to get together with your families, throughout the day as you're quarantined. Get together and be intentional about telling each other how much you care about each other. If your grandparents or your parents aren't in the home with you, give them a call, frequently, as much as you can, connect with them. But I think, as we think about this here, this is a good time for us to go ahead and to go ahead and use these gifts that we have been provided. So a couple of things that I wanted to share, and I'll get back to that word, Zhaawendim, behaving in a loving and caring way. I also brought this guy with to help share some of the message. As we think about Adzuka, our spirits that are among us at all times, they love to hear the birds that you hear chirping out there, those encouraging the use of our language. Our language has its roots, and those birds are language keepers, reminding us to use our language as much as we can. I think as a humble and bashful way, in a sense, a lot of times what you hear from our people, elders alike, they say, "Gawin na kinigego ni kendazin, kainganin kinigego ni kendazin, migani na to bangin di kendan, je webezing o je bamatazing o king." We don't claim to know everything. We don't claim to be better than anybody, but we share, again, the goodness of what we've been taught. We know very little about things, and the things that we do talk about are the things that we've experienced, and the things that we've read, things that we've been told or heard, and we speak in good honor for all of those people that provided us with those teachings. So once again, encouraging you all in your families, any teachings that you can remember. We usually save these things for those winter months because we had to way back in the day. That's how we savored our language and culture. So I want to sing a song, for you all as you're in your homes. This is, again, an education song. I'm sure your families, I hope all of you have connected with your distance learning programming, and you've created time and space and getting help that you need. But one of the things I know that we also need is learning about our ways. The more that our students, your children, hear and learn more about themselves and their programming, every research-based product out there tells you that they're likely going to be successful. So the song is a teaching song. And, if you have a recorder there, a nice thing about Facebook Live is these videos are there forever, and so you can fast forward to the song. But this is a teaching song, and you can use it in your houses with your children. The words to it is, let's teach our children how to live in a good way. Okay? Because when we do that, we're doing all of ourselves good. Our future looks good when we teach them to live a good way of life. Another part of the song talks about teaching our children the Anishinaabe ways of life, because once again, in doing that gives them a really good chance at having a good life. So here's a song. I composed this many moons ago, and have given it to many educational programs, schools, and so forth. So here it is. it's good to hear the drums again. There's social distancing powwows that have started. There's actually a Facebook page, so if you all want to check it out on Saturday. There's another powwow, social distancing powwow, that's going to happen this Saturday. 12:30, I believe, is like their grand entry. And then they're going to have another one at 6:30. So social distancing powwow, search them out. But in Ojibwe, there is no word for you're welcome, folks. And I'm sure you're feeling the miigwetches, and I can say you're welcome in English, but in our language, with it not being there, it's actually an acknowledgement that I know. And, I don't have to necessarily say you're welcome when you say thank you. It's an automatic respect between us. We understand how thankful we are for things, and it doesn't necessarily need to get reciprocated with the you're welcome statement. So that song, again, very special. I think I've been singing it for about 20 years now, it feels like. I just want to really encourage, that's a way to kind of lift the spirits in your homes, with each other, with your families. So back to that word, Zhaawendim. If that's something you want to write down, put that on your fridge. Zhaawendim, Zhaawendim, Zhaawendim. Just love and care for them. You're going to get at each other a little bit. In our own house here, we've had to have some new conflict management strategies right here. There isn't anybody that has just the perfect magic to dealing with kind of this forced hibernation. But I think the more that you do together, and the more doings that you have, the intentionality, the purposeful actions that you make, utilizing, going ahead and grab what you can as far as what your teachings are in your homes. Listening to Terrell and listening to JT, you hear just the common sense and logic of our practices and our ways. We really didn't want to complicate things. So those things that you think, as far as what I just told you in some of the stories that I just shared, make those your own. They're absolutely yours. So this thought of Zhaawendim, Migani Yangi Nanagaten down where Opchine Gani Nizagetun or Tabachum Zhaawendim. I really love that word, Zhaawendim, Zhaawenima, Ki Zhaawenimataweya. When you love and care for somebody like that, you really put yourself behind them and kind of, grandmother way. You're watching over them, watching out for them. But you're not just doing that without giving them guidance as well. That sometimes we need to correct, and even correct yourself. And those are still loving and caring ways. We do them politely. We do them with humor. But most of the time, they're with a smile, and a lot of times, in a grandmother whisper, very calm. Use that word in your homes. It started to dawn on me, as this supermoon came out here last weekend in Ojibwe, that supermoon. It's the beginning of Mi'oa, Namebini Geezis. We call that maple syrup boiling moon. It's the trees are going to be about ready, I'm sure. Could be another social distancing activity if you went for a drive, just with health and safety with your family. And if there's an area, I know trees will start to be tapped. But our months of the year, there's 13 full moons in any given year. Every year there's 13 full moons. And if you and your family want a little project right now, Google the 13 moons of the Ojibwe. These are very similar to a lot of the other nations, Dakota, Lakota, MHA, you name it. We had resonance with keeping track of time through the full moon cycle. And the 13 full moons are very interesting because turtles are going to be making their way around our lands again. And turtles are one of the original creatures that inhabited Mother Earth. We actually call North America Turtle Island. But on the back of that turtle, as you research it, you'll notice and count a live one, whatever you see, even on the internet, Googling it, 13 large shells on the inside of a turtle, on that turtle's back, those shells. Those 13 represent the 13 full moons of any calendar. So that turtle is one of the oldest creatures that Creator put on this earth. And we knew that and recognized that as a people. Another thing you'll know is on the outside ring of that turtle, outside of those 13 shells, there are 28 smaller ones, typically, representing 28 days that are in between each full moon cycle. Lots of teachings with that. The reason why I'm using Zhaawendim with the teachings of our full moon cycles is February was a moon that the Anishinaabe called Namebini Geezis, suckerfish moon. If you've ever seen a suckerfish, Google that as well. Big, burly lips, bottom feather. Basically, if any of you have a fish tank in your house, it acts like a filter, the best filter imaginable. And these suckerfish, are a delicacy of sorts. Not many people eat them. And we left them alone as a people to take care of our lakes, to provide nourishment for everything that used the water, including us that drank it. So very revered fish when you think about it. But many, many moons ago, during one winter, our people were very, very ugly towards each other, calling each other out, infighting, a lot of things were just disastrous within our nations. We didn't treat each other very well. Not a lot of Zhaawendim happening. Instead, selfishness, hoarding, all of these kind of things. Mine, me, putting other people away. All those things that we know aren't attractive. We stay away from those things a lot of times. That's not what we want. Even now, just thinking about it, it's an uncomfortable state. And people like that, usually there's some distance away from them. It's not just, anything other than that. It's an uncomfortable way. But that's how many of our people were many, many moons ago. And what ended up happening is the Creator hit us with a wicked, wicked winter. Snow that was even higher than trees, apparently. Couldn't go out and get any residual meats. And of course, in our greedy ways, selfish ways, of course, we ate up all of our food stocks. Many of our people perished, struggled. There was, your regular illnesses, couldn't treat them because we couldn't get any of our medicines readily available during those heavy winter months. And we went through our food stocks. We were starving and desperate, to be honest with you. Didn't have any of our real raw materials because we just used them up. We thought they were invincible. And of course, during that harsh winter, cold winter, we resorted to our ways. And our ways were through prayer and through offering, and we asked for help. And what the Creator bestowed on us is they said, go to your nearest lake, your fishing lake, and go to the shoreline. I know there's 12 feet of snow there, but you need to dig down to that ice. Dig down to that ice, and you'll see the shiny through the ice. And at that point, you'll know what you need to do. People needed to believe in it because no other choice. With 3 full months of winter yet, they probably would not have made it. So they made their journey to their fishing spot, I guess, their traditional fishing area. And they went to the shore, dug down to the ice, and sure enough saw all the shiny, chiseled through the water and outpoured Namebini. All the suckerfish came pouring out, and they gave up their lives so that our people could eat and have nourishment and survive. And again, the teaching was this: you need to return to Zhaawendim seeing. That is what's going to get you through and have a healthy and good life with all things. Wealth is how you end up treating people. Zhaawendim, the pure context of generosity to our people, is that you all are going to feel good just having met me. That I'm going to treat you so well. I'm going to talk so well about loving and caring and all of these things, and have a smile and be happy, that you're going to be happy even just about yourself having met me. That is what we needed to return to, our caring and loving and nurturing, our collegial, family, communal ways. And that's what seeped through and got us to survive. We, of course, lost many in the midst of that, but we were able to move on. So henceforth, that month of, in English, February, we recognized it by calling that full moon Namebini Geezis, suckerfish moon. So I guess, ultimately when I compare that to this current virus, this pandemic, the creator is again put this microscopic virus to remind us just again how humble, mostly insignificant we are, that we think we have everything, we think we know it all, and we think we can do what we please. But at the same time, I think in the midst of some of that, there's been so much, yes, there's been war, yes, there's been struggles, and when you think about our own nations, a lot of struggles with how we end up treating each other. And a lot of that I know is residual as a result of what happened to our people since 1492 here. The things, the policies of the governments that really erased and attempted to erase our people from existence, but as well as that language. What a lot of people don't realize is that language that I just spoke to you in, Ojibwe language, is an original language of this land. The language I'm using right now is the foreign language. That is foreign to this area. That language was not here, English, along with those ways that are so encompassing to us, that take over with us. They're powerful, and it is what it is. We need to learn to live in those two worlds in that way. But I think the commonality worldwide right now, and what you're seeing in commercials and so many things that are coming out, what do you notice? What do you notice about what the schools are doing? What do you notice about even just this series here? It's promoting more loving and caring ways. That's going to ultimately get us through this. The virus is powerful, and a lot of prayers to all the first responders and, all of those that are, in the front lines, and, and of course to all of you, your families that are taking care of your loved ones, concerned when they even go out. We need to be that way. We need to teach them why as well. Don't be afraid to tell them why. They need to know. When they know, they'll understand. We can't hide things from them. But those loving and caring ways are the primary way that we will get through this. We'll get through it in a good way as well. Because as this starts to subside, what is going to be left over? Are we just going to go back and need another virus to remind us down the way? Another Namebini Geezis happen? Well, I think those will keep coming. So I can't help but believe that, again, this virus that's so microscopic is giving us the ultimate teaching of how we need to be with each other. This last song that I want to sing for you, and this will be a weekly, I'm proud to be able to do this for you all every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. This doesn't make me nervous. I'm not, giddy or anything like that. I'm very comfortable, and any one of you could do this. Again, with Zhaawendim, just speaking from the heart. There's no script. We just, want to share good things and talk based on what you know. That's all it is. You're not trying to make it up. I think the second we start to read from a script and try to make it up, that's okay. But for me, what it ends up doing is I get nervous and I start stumbling around. But this last one, what I thought would be kind of fun in your homes, it's a round dance, a friendship dance as we call them. And maybe with your families, if you want, you can join hands in a circle in your living room. The words of the song, it's again a double beat. So just take your left, right, around, almost like a two-step country style, but we'll do it indigenous style, and just hold hands, and it's a way again just to share in a little dance, kind of go for it. It's a time where we should have a little fun. TV is going to be there, internet's going to be there, but why not just kind of get up and stretch a little bit? So I'll give you 10 seconds to stretch. Get up right now. The words of the song are Dene maga ninanig, Gajawen amigo nan, Jawen amigo nan, Gajawen amigo nan, Hoa, Kingo Sha, Jika Damgo Sha, meaning all relatives, let's love and care for one another. because that is really good. Okay, it's just a good way. So it's round dance style. So a lot of times I know a lot of our Cree relatives that are up, up in the northern areas, hand drumming is really taken off. I'm still really, this wasn't a normal thing for Anishinaabe with the hand drum, other than usually in our lodges, but it's really taken off. So this is just a double beat here. So have a little dance with your families. Enjoy. It's been a pleasure. So here we go. Yo, hey, yo, hey, 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 yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, 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 yo, hey, Zhaawendim me go nan, ay ay ay, yai ho ah, he go sha, chicken da go sha, hey oh hey hey oh, yo hey oh hey, hey ay ay ah ah ay ay, yo hey oh hey oh hey. There you have it, folks. Gosh, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I swear I haven't sung that song in, I bet you, over 20 years it feels like. Just feels good, to be able to get out and, not out, but to be able to share things with you all. Again, that Zhaawendim being the theme tonight, thinking about the many ways that we can provide loving and caring thoughts, sending any regards. Facebook is a powerful tool, and the telephone is good. Zoom, whatever it is, continue to reach out. Your people need you, above and beyond, right there in your own homes, your children, your families. So I just wanted to wish you all a really good night. Have a fantastic weekend. Apchugeget kenine minendan mino oa kajugo wechimigoan chugo wich toan genin oa nogum apchugenin mi mainugo get kaunishingo japse magok mina pj genin man deotang magen de stigwang apchugeget bogoke nagot oa kajugo wetigetusang oa nogum Kaja Chakusi, Magok, Oa Nogum, Kaja Bamatazing, me mine Oa Geget, Kajan Schnabeng, Chijap Semagok, Aban, Kishpin, Zhaawendim Ting, Bizanaguin, Wagita Tapenam, Noa, Kagi Jiminigo is eating, Gemanito, Chu Tapenaming and Noaga on the chicken, me mine yet to go, Kisho, Jab saying, Chiminobe Matazang. Mi mind yeget keninit nendaman wanogam. The things that come out of your mouth when you speak the language and just share what you know and share as much as you can, I guess, in the language as a vehicle. I encourage you all, this is another good time to learn phrases, learn different things. It's amazing what a lot of the nations have done to put the language and culture out there. And I'm still a student. I won't stop learning until, until I'm old and gray as well. But basically, what I said is that final reminder. I'm very overwhelmed with happiness to be able to do this here tonight. It's been a long time, but at the same time, remembering the gifts that our Creator has provided us, that they're there for not the taking in the sense of ownership, otapanamig, that's kind of taking them, but using them, applying them. There's no ownership in our ways. They're shared, they're relative, they're ours, they're all of ours. No matter how much you think you know, we all know the same. We just are living. So with that, I want to wish you all, like I said earlier, a good night. Hope you enjoyed the 2 songs along with some of the stories. And be well and be safe. So, miigwech minoa. Nagach. See you all again.